This is Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review with your MLB play of the day for Friday, May the 5th. We're going to go to the NL East for the New York Mets Miami Marlins matchup taking place. The Mets even money -110 price over the Marlins, total of 8.5. Some 9s out there, but 8.5's prevailing at for the most part right now. Juice to the over. And if anyone has noticed, the New York Mets have been on a torrid over the total streak as of late. 8-0-1 to the over for the New York Mets in their last 9 games, and that's not by accident. Their lineup is hitting. You look at what they've done offensively, going back to their last 2 series against the Nationals and Braves. They scored 7, 5, 5, 7, 7, and 16 runs in their last 6 games. Pretty impressive stuff from the New York Mets, especially considering they've been without Yoenis Cespedes. Lucas Duda's on the DL. Yet they've had other guys step up and hit well for this team. I mean, Neil Walker's been hitting well. Even Jose Reyes has hit well. Rivera's hit well. There's a bunch of guys that are hitting the big. Granderson's gotten going offensively for the Mets. So there are a bunch of guys stepping up offensively for this team. But the biggest factor, even more than the offense doing well lately for the Mets going over the total, their starting rotation's a mess. Noah Syndergaard, we know about the controversy with him refusing the MRI. He could be damaged goods. Matt Harvey's a complete mess right now. Forced into duty even though he's not even close to 100%, and he's been roughed up repeatedly. Robert Selman, this guy's not starting pitching material. He's been awful every time he's been out there. Jake DeGrom's been inconsistent. Zach Wheeler is the one guy that's been halfway decent for this Mets team, but even he is not a guy that you trust just yet to be consistent start in and start out. They've got injuries to their starting staff. We know Steven Matz has been out all season so far. Lugo has been out on the DL. Syndergaard, of course, now on the DL. The New York Mets now have to plug in mediocre, meandering starting pitchers who have no business being in a rotation right now, and that's the case right here in this particular game, as they are going to be sending Rafael Montero to the mound on Friday night in this game against the Marlins. Rafael Montero's not a starting pitching caliber pitcher. Are you kidding? Look at his numbers this year just out of the bullpen. 9.45 ERA, 6.2 innings. He's allowed 7 runs on 16 hits in those 6.2 innings. More walks than strikeouts. 8 walks, 6 strikeouts for Montero in those 6.2 innings pitched with the Mets this season. Brutal numbers for him. Absolutely horrendous. And you look at his last 2 starts that he's made with the Mets last season at Cincinnati, at Washington. Didn't fare well in any of those games. Pitched just 6.1 innings, gave up 9 runs on 8 hits in those 6.1 innings. Brutal numbers there too. This is just not a guy I trust as a starting pitcher. He's not going to pitch deep. The Mets bullpen is another problem area. They can't get outs right now. It's a very bad Mets bullpen, ranked down near the basement in Major League Baseball in terms of ERA. So what does that mean? It means the Miami Marlins should be able to score some runs here against Montero and against this beleaguered Mets bullpen. And on the flip side, though, again, we talked about the Mets offense really picking it up lately. They're facing Tom Koehler, and he is absolutely hittable. I've had enough of Tom Koehler. He is clearly not a guy that has any sort of high ceiling at the major league level. You keep waiting and waiting for him to come around. It just doesn't happen for him. He's been awful again this season. 5.4 ERA, 15 runs on 28 hits in 25 innings, 11 walks in those 25 innings, 7 home runs allowed in those 25 innings. The long ball has killed Tom Koehler so far this season. It's been absolutely horrendous for the Miami Marlins. Look at his track record against the Mets. Last 2 starts against the Mets, late last season, August and September, gave up 9 runs on 16 hits and 8.2 innings. That's a great track record. No reason the Mets shouldn't be able to hit Tom Koehler. And the Miami bullpen, not quite as bad as the Mets bullpen, but not exactly a shut-down bullpen outside of the closer, Ramos. So this has the makings of a high-scoring affair. The New York Mets, when teams go on these over-the-total streaks, like the Mets are on right now, you don't try to step in front of it. Overs usually mean more overs because you got hot lineups, you've got terrible starting pitching, mediocre starting pitching, especially with all the injuries now for the Mets, and a bullpen that is taxed. These starters aren't pitching deep, and that's been another problem. The Mets starters aren't eating innings. So this bullpen is constantly logging a ton of innings every night. They're overworked, they're gassed, they're taxed, and they're not pitching well as a result. So it's a chain reaction, a domino effect, and that's why the Mets have been on this 7 0-1, I should say, over the total streak in their last 9 games, and I think that's an over streak that can continue on Friday night against the Miami Marlins. Let's make it official. Play of the day, MLB for Friday, May 5th. Let's take Miami and the New York Mets over the total of 8.5, rotation number 958. Marlins, Mets, over 8.5 for Friday night, May 5th. That's my MLB play of the day. All right, that'll wrap it up. I'm Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review. Until next time, enjoy the games and good luck.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.